Hey, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate you joining me on this evening to IG, to Facebook, to YouTube, to Twitch, to Twitter, with TikTok, all you guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Um, this is Love Works. My name is Ricardo Arce, and I'm excited because tonight I'm diving into some pointers on the things you got to do, you must understand, you must consider before you say I do. This is a big one. I've done a couple of things on this one. Not as detailed as what I'm going to go into tonight, because this is important that as people move forward in a relationship, every relationship is different. But there's some basic things in every relationship that you must do. Some basic things. You must understand that there is a notion that many people feel that they don't have to uh, do certain things when it comes down to marriage. The fact of the matter is, it's important to take notes from other people, because when you jump into it, it is no joke, number one. Number two, it's a lot to consider because you're dealing with a totally different personality outside of yourself. And if you have already had some issues going in, you're going to have some problems. So tonight, we're going to jump into this. My name is Ricardo Arce. This is Love Works. Let's go. So, as you can imagine, a lot of people during this time are setting up their marriage. They're about to get married. They're excited about marriage. And counseling has to take place before that marriage. So, as I do marriage counseling, both me and my wife, when we get into marriage counseling, we really try to help people to understand the basics. Um, because it's not to give the person second thought that should they or should they not get married, but it's really to prepare them for a journey. Um, Very stressful at times, um, like any relationship, but specifically because you have to live with the person. That's a whole nother thing. You have to continue to deal with the person day in, day out. There's some things that you have to work on in yourself. So tonight, I am going to go through a list that will help you. Things to consider before getting married. I'm gonna give you 10 of them tonight. And then I'm gonna give you some more on another night. I'm gonna get another 10. So tonight, and this is pretty much for men and women. men and women, this is something you have to consider. You have to consider this. The first thing that is going to be literally I'll say the stratum that holds everything together, the basics, or should I say the foundation. You have to understand love. Love is the first thing you must have. Now, love is not that feeling. That goes away at times. When somebody does something to you in a marriage, that goes away. Listen, that's just real talk. Where you want to keep driving, young lady, you want to just drive past the house, drive past him, drive past her, and keep it pushing. You don't want to deal with him or her. You don't want to deal with pretty much the fact that you have to go and deal with that person day in, day out. You just don't want to do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the foundation that keeps you coming is love. So love, again, is not that pretty much that feeling. It's you hear me talk about the oxytocin and so forth that pretty much holds it together, and then all these emotions and these chemicals are going off in your body, where it's an infatuation. It feels like love, but it's not. It's an infatuation at first, and then all of a sudden that starts peeling off when you start seeing certain things that you don't like about the person. Because when you first meet the person, oh my God, they're just the sweetest thing in the world. And oh my God, you just don't know. He makes me feel this way, or she makes me feel that way. And all of a sudden, that starts wearing off. That starts pretty much, it in the sense of how you deal with the after effects is the key. So again, when it comes down to love, when it's even the Bible speaks about pretty much letting you know pretty much that love is pretty much patient, love is kind. Love is, pretty much little enduring. All these things come pretty much as persevering too. But it is something you must have in every relationship. Every relationship. So I recommend many times, let's see how much you love the person when they get mad. Because you're going to argue. You're going to argue. There's no doubt about it. Let's see how much you love them afterwards. Because you really can love a person when you see them at their worst. If you see them at their worst, then you can love them. You got some good stuff. When they go through something, lose a loved one, job, whatever, you have to see them at their worst at times to see if you're compatible. Honestly, I say that. Have you had your first argument? No. Let's wait. Let's see how that works out. Because then you'll know how the reaction and how much you love each other. All right. So love is number one. Okay. I'm gonna move on. And what happens is in number two, commitment. If you're not committed, you might as well forget it. Just run away. Just go. Just leave. If you're not committed to the situation, just leave. Here is where a lot of marriages fall apart because there's no commitment. Say what you want. Listen good. Say what you want about Will and Jada. Say what you want. What I commend him being, and her, committed. Whatever situation they're in, they may dislike each other, disrespect you. I don't know all the details. I don't know them personally yet. But my point is this, that when it comes down to commitment, they're committed. Yeah, they've been through it. Infidelity, pretty much children, misbehaving, the whole nine yards, she, he, whatever. They're committed. And you can't knock that. And that's a serious thing to understand. Commitment. Commitment. And that's one of the key things. Somebody asked a question. Does the 80-10 rule help you? I'm going to get to that in a second. The commitment. You know what? No, I'll discuss it now. Yes, there are times it can help. And I always recommend pretty much when it comes down to the 80-10, the 80-20 rule, just be careful how much you give. It's as simple as that. So be careful with that. But let's move. Number three, and if you're just joining me, welcome to LOVEWORKS. My name is Ricardo Arce, and tonight we're dealing with pretty much things to consider before you get married. Things to consider before you get married. Number three, which is a big one, and this is where men come in. Listen, just FYI, women marry for love. Many times men, before they can love you, they have to trust you. If they can trust you, because understand, With men, they're not as vulnerable. And being vulnerable will cost them. You talking about male ego and being more sensitive? Go ahead and destroy his trust. And what happens is it'll be a long time before he opens up again. And let me share this with you, ladies. Please understand, and it goes both ways. Don't get me wrong, but specifically when it comes down to trust for men, men are not pretty much aren't able to trust as easy. Even when you gather a whole bunch of men together, they should, they got to get to know you. They got to look you up and down and size you up and see if you're cool. If you pretty much they can handle you, or they can communicate with you, laugh with you, clown or whatever. Trust is built. In a relationship, understand when it comes down to building any relationship, trust is going to be the factor. Trust is going to be the factor. Breaking trust can take a long time to build up again. My word to you, to men and women, let it be financially, let it be spiritually, or even physically, trust has to be there. It's a big one. Trust is pretty much I'll say in a nutshell, it's a glue that holds it together. Trust. Yeah, it's one of the most important elements in a successful marriage. It is, in my opinion, one of the most pretty much critical. It's critical because if you don't have it, you're not going to have the longevity in marriage. Trust. Can she or he trust you? And that's it. And let me share this with you, men and women. Trust is earned. Don't play. Trust is earned. It takes a long time to get it sometimes, but it can take 2 minutes to break it. Yeah. And not to say that pretty much it's going to end there. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying that you have to be able to trust each other in areas of life. It has nothing to do what if he or she is going to do something. No, it's not that. It's just making sure you have a trust factor. Do not sit there and I'll put it to you this way. I personally would not allow another man in my house without me being there. It's not happening. Not happening. It has nothing to do with not trusting my wife. I trust her. That's not the point. I don't trust the other person, and pretty much I don't want it to look crazy. That's it. And vice versa. Yeah, you're not popping over the house. Hey, no, we're not doing that. Not doing that. I'll talk you to the people. Can I help you? No, she's not here right now. That's me. Maybe you have a different agreement, whatever. But I've been saying trust. That pretty much the trust factor has to be there in every area of life. Money is pretty much you can break trust with money. If you don't know how to handle money, sir, let your wife handle it. I'm a free giver. I love giving pretty much things away. That's something that's been ingrained in me since I was a child. All right. So I don't carry cash with me. I don't carry cash. I'll carry pretty much a card, something that pretty much I know that I can't give away. Yeah, but I'm not giving you any money. I had to learn that because I'll pretty much let's say I have a budget for lunch. I'll take that money and I'll give it to a homeless person who needs it more. And then I'm going back to my wife, hey, I need a little budget for my lunch. But didn't I give you some money like a little kid, right? Like a little kid. But that's just how it works. That's how I work. And that's how we work. So I had to learn, hey, take care of the money. You take care of the bills, I do the investments. But that's how we work. Your marriage may be different, but I'm speaking of trust, building trust in areas of life. If you know pretty much you can't be trusted in the area when it comes down to, let's say, finances, give it to her, sir. And vice versa, young lady, give it to him. Now, I'm just giving you some understanding because one thing about pretty much trust, it has to be given to the other person from a place of love. And you have to talk about that. That's important. Let me move. All right. If you're joining us tonight, thank you so much for joining us. We're talking about literally things to consider before getting married. So number 4, effective communication. This is vitally important also. How you communicate. If I watch this, okay, if I say I'm going to the store, all right, She will ask, what store are you going to? Now, I'll say, I'm going to Walmart or Walgreens or whatever. And she'll say, okay, can you bring me back A, B, and C? Okay, I'll bring you back A, B, and C. I go, and there are times I bring back the wrong thing. Not purposely, because I heard this brand. Because listen, it's the cheaper brand. That's how it works. So the communication pretty much fell apart because I thought one thing, she's thinking another. It's important and vitally important that you communicate effectively. Now, there are times, and I'll be, if I may be honest, as we get older, I text everything now. I'm not, no, not, I say to her all the time. She'll say, can you bring me A, B, and C? Yes, text it to me. Why? Because I don't want to make the mistake of bringing something back that she asked for something. She asked for one thing, I bring back something different. I stopped doing that a long time ago. Effective communication is key. Effective communication. And if you're not a good communicator, my word to you is that to write everything down. I know it sounds silly, but it's important. When it comes down to since you text everything. And then you elaborate on that text later. That's just some way. Now, what you don't want to do, funny story, I tell it at times in marriage conferences and so forth, or different arenas when it comes down to couples. A number of years ago, my wife and I pretty much decided to go to spend it was, I think, our maybe 11th or 12th anniversary in Disney, downtown Disney. So we decided to go down there. We were just local, it's something to do, so we did it. So we booked a hotel and so forth, and I'm walking down the street with her, going to the nearest restaurant, and I'm macking to her. I'm laying serious drag to her, sir. I'm trying to set myself up nice that night. I wasn't playing. An anniversary, we had a hotel, nice. I'm trying to set it up. And I'm talking to her. I'm just, I'm laying that drag to her. I'm just, baby, you the ooh and I, and I'm just, and so all of a sudden, no exaggeration, my wife starts, she just runs down the street. She runs off the sidewalk in the first lane, running down the street. I want you to understand what went through my mind. What went through my mind was this. I married a crazy woman. I need a divorce because she's crazy. Something's going on. And I'm literally yelling at her as she's running down the street, call. And I'm looking around because I'm embarrassed because she's running in the middle of the street. I don't know if she thought she was a car. I don't know. But I know she ran a 4.3. Yeah, she won a 4.3, literally down the street in the first lane. So I did my best to catch up to her. And I pull her onto the sidewalk. I'm like, yo, what just happened? And she's looking at me and she says, you didn't hear that? I'm like, hear what? I didn't hear anything. What are you talking about? So we go back to the spot, which is like 50 yards away. Going back to the spot, I walk her and I said, what are you talking about? What do you hear? And she said, shh. I'm like, man, this woman has lost it. She hears something, and we both heard it was like something almost like in the bushes that was shaking the bushes or something. We thought so. And it was like, this is the sound. It was shh, shh. I'm like, what is that sound? There was a gate where we were, and there were kids sliding down the slide, hitting the rocks, making a sound. And she says to me, I thought it was a snake in the bushes. That's why I ran away. And I'm looking at her like, but so somebody said it was a rattle bear because you thought it was a bear or a snake. It was really funny. And I say all that to say this. She did not effectively communicate with me to run from the snake or the bear that was in the bushes. That's what she did not do. So I say this, please take this advice. Get effective communication. Someone said you should have ran. You should have ran, and I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have. Someone said, yeah, whatever. But the fact of the matter is that effective communication helps your marriage. It helps in any relationship, but specifically your marriage. Effective communication. All right, I'm moving. Number 5, patience and forgiveness. The best thing to do to have pretty much in any relationship, and hi, IG, good to see you. Hey, daughter, good to see you. Make sure that you have amnesia. You got to have amnesia. Yeah, that forgiveness equals amnesia. I'm telling you what I know. Don't bring up the past. Be patient with one another. He is not going to get it all the time, and she is not going to get it all the time. You're going to be together for a lifetime. Listen, that means a lifetime of lessons, growing with one another, being patient with one another. She's patient with me. I'm patient with her. Make a lot of mistakes. Yeah. But the point, literally, for the first couple of years of our marriage, I thought my name was I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was always apologizing because you just mess up. So my point with it is that she and he have to be patient with one another in order for the relationship to work. Effective communication equals patience and forgiveness. Believe it or not, yes. So being patient and having forgiveness, it really adds up in your marriage because you can hold each other to a lot of different things because you're both are going to mess up. And I'm not saying pretty much big things, but just my bad. I should have did it this way or said it that way or whatever. And you have to be patient with one another. Learn to forgive one another. Forgiveness. Remember, amnesia. Just forget about it. I have this thing about admit it, quit it, and forget it. Just be done with it. Just move on. Ladies, let me help you. Please stop beating a dead horse. You guys have memories, as many people put it, as like an elephant. I'm not calling you an elephant. I'm saying that you have a memory as one, and you can recall dates, places, scenes, or whatever. Don't do that. That really drives a man nuts. It really does. Admit it, quit it, and forget. That's right. Admit it, quit it, and forget it. Thank you, Miss Sharice. Hi, Miss Sharice. So here we have number 6, intimacy. This is a big one. There are couples that my wife and I pretty much have counseled and know that literally have maybe in their 12 years, 14, and this is very common, by the way, 12 years of marriage, maybe had sex like 6 or 7 times. They can count on one hand, or literally one or two hands, pretty much, how many times they've done it. The intimacy is very key. Many times when it comes into marriage, his sex drive is higher than a woman. So she pretty much he feels that pretty much she should be doing it all the time. And if you ask survey some men, and I promise you, I've had this argument with men who are about to get married. Well, we're gonna be doing it all the time. You're not. No, you're not, sir. Number one, you're not built for that. Number two, she's not built for that. You're forgetting a lot of factors here. Not happening. Not happening, sir. You don't understand. I do. I do. I'm married. I get it. Not happening. So get out your head that you're gonna be doing it all the time. Not happening. Yeah. There's 2 weeks out of a month that you're not gonna be able to unless you're nasty like that. Your freaky nasty self. You need to get saved. That's what you need to do. Someone said no. Someone said no. What are you? Wait a minute. Are you shocked that they don't, or are you like what? I don't understand. Clear that up, Miss Carla. But yeah, intimacy. Intimacy is very key when it comes down to your marriage. I'll say this: men are visual. Men are visual. Men are very visual, and understand that as you get older, your wife may not look like she did at 25. And sir, you don't either. I know I don't. I know I don't. But it's all good. It's all good. Intimacy really connects on in my opinion, a soulish level. That's where it begins. You start seeing the person for who they are, and that makes them attractive to you. Because when all is gone, looks and everything else, intimacy is going to be key. But intimacy begins, in my opinion, from a spiritual level. Intimacy. I didn't say, listen, I didn't say sex, which equals to intimacy, yes. But the attractiveness is one thing. But intimacy is when you know each other and you communicate with one another and you just know the person in and out. And sex is a part of that. I'll put it this way. Sex is the byproduct. Sex is the byproduct of your intimacy. Okay. And I think that's when it's important. It's important to understand that you guys connect on a soulful or soulish level. All right. And that takes time. The sex is going to be there. You're going to be in marriage. You're going to be, listen, you're going to be christening every room, every table. Don't invite me over to your house because some of you married couples, I already know some of y'all just messed up the beds and rather the living room and the kitchen table and all that stuff. I just want to be over there. I'm good. I'm good. So I just wanted to bring that up. Intimacy is on a soulish level. Yeah, sex is a bonus. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is. It is. So, someone said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, if you're joining us tonight, thank you so much for joining us. Tonight, we're talking about things to consider before you get married or getting married. And we are going to be on number 7. Number 7. I hope you're being blessed tonight. Please do me a favor. Hit that love button if you're on with me on every channel. Hey, what's up, IG? Hey, daughters. Good to see you. God bless you. Good to see you guys. Hit that love button if you're on Facebook and IG and just say hello. Amen. If you're churchy, if you're not churchy, just say hey. All right. On the other channels, YouTube, hello. What's up, Twitter? What's up, Twitch? And oh, I'm sorry, TikTok. My bad. Hey, TikTok. All right, let's go. So number 7, you can't be selfish. You got to be. You have to be selflessness, or you can't be selfish in any relationship. There's a give and take. There's no such thing as, listen, as love being equal in a relationship. Yes, it is. There's sometimes you're going to feel like loving, and he or she is giving 150%, while you only can give 75% at that time because you're going through an emotional thing. You lost a loved one, whatever, and it's he or she has to pick up the slack. That's how that works. And I literally got into a debate with someone about that, about it being equal. It's not. It's not. Yeah, it's not. It's not equal. Women, listen. This is. I know. I get it. I'm gonna mess you up, but it's okay. We're gonna love each other after this. A woman's job is totally different from a man's job. You're gonna hear me say this often. There's a reason why God gave men broad shoulders. And there's a reason why God gave women hips. 2 different functions. She carries the family. He carries the weight of the family. You better hear me. That's his job. That's why he works harder. That's why he works 2 jobs at times to make it happen. So you and the children at home can be taken care of. Rick, that sounds like old school. That's Bible. That's Bible. Go read Proverbs 31 and you'll get understanding. Yeah, she's a multi-trade. Yeah, Proverbs 31 woman is no joke. Yeah, she's sitting there taking care of home. She got a business running over here. She's taking care of the kids, taking care of him. The Bible says that he wears her as a crown on his head. Oh, Father, I bless you. Yes. Yes, he's proud of her. Amen. So I want you to really understand that, because your roles are different. And both of them are totally different roles. It's selflessness in both areas. He's committed, pretty much going out and do what he needs to do to make it happen. To make it happen. She is committed, if she's staying at home, to make sure the house is ran perfectly. Yeah, listen, there's an old saying, the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. Why? Because understand, that child that woman is raising can rule the world. It's not that the father's not there. It's just the father has a different role. He's going out and doing it. He sees a work ethic in him. Or I should say the children see a work ethic in him. My daddy did this. This is why, ladies, particularly with fathers, ladies, when you choose a man, he should be a mirror of a productive man in your life who provided for you, who gave you things in your life that were needed. Selflessness. It is pretty much you doing what you have to do and vice versa in the marriage. So you're not equal. Don't say, please stop saying that. You're not equal. You have different roles. It's called creation roles. That's what it's called. You have a creation role, sir, and she does. Can you both go out and work? Absolutely. No one's saying that. That's not what I'm saying. But in retrospect, pretty much, I know I can't do what she does and vice versa. There are a lot of things she can't do that I do. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It just means I have my role and she has her role. And that's how the team works. That's how we work it. You can work whatever you want. You can be the power couple, whatever you want. Knock yourself out. Go for it. But there's a role that has to be played. All right? Now that you've been offended, God bless you. Hey, Miss Sheila, God bless you. Thank you so much. Being blessed for yourself. Amen. Amen. Thank you. All right, number 8. I like this one. Respect. Woo, this is a big one. Respect is given to those, listen, off the bat. You don't earn respect in a lot of areas. Just as humans, just as people, we're supposed to respect one another. In every relationship, sir, as soon as you call her out of her name and she allows it, respect is gone. Respect is gone. Goodbye. If you don't respect her, and one thing, let me help you. Listen, ladies, you guys can literally have 3,000 words more than men. You can out-talk me. You can out-communicate. Speaking of men. So when you see the man is shutting down and he's not saying anything, hush it. And I mean that. Hush. Don't stop. Just stop. Because right there, he thinks that you're losing respect for him. And share this with you. There are times you can love somebody in a relationship but not respect them. And specifically, and I'm going to share this with you, this is Mr. Arce speaking. I believe this is what happened with Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Will and Jada, this is what happened. She loved him, but she lost respect for him somehow, wherever that looks like. And I believe that wholeheartedly. I believe that's what happened. And when a man loses respect from his wife, it's very difficult to get it back. Hence why you see a lot of divorces happen. As soon as you lose respect for one another, everything else goes out the window. Everything else goes out the window. If he is not respecting you prior to marriage, what makes you think he is going to respect you in the marriage? It's not happening. Sorry to tell you. It's not happening. Someone said, I don't think she ever did. I agree with you. I think somehow that got lost or whatever. And, now it's just to talk. And a lot of people are pretty much the hot button discussion, for the lack of better words. My heart goes out to both of them, but let's just get real with it. Unfortunately, he's been disrespected in public for a minute. She never wanted to marry. Oh yeah, she said it. And that's hurtful. And what's sad about it in that situation, she or he is fighting a ghost, because you hear her talking about pretty much Tupac and so forth and all this other stuff. And she's brought it up before, and he's brought it up before. And what if they get past it or not? I pray that whatever comes out of the respect is brought back, whatever that looks like. But do not lose respect for one another. Don't call each other out of each other's names. Don't do it. Don't call, ladies, one of the worst things you can call a man is a punk. Woo! Okay? You're going to cross that line. I'm trying to help you. You want to get married? Don't do it. That word right there can be that can hurt him in so many ways. Sir, do not call her the B word or any other word. Because another thing you could say is like, if she doesn't have a good relationship with her mama, You say something to the point of you just like your mama. That's a problem. For some ladies, it's a problem. The women of God said amen. Talk to me. Talk to me. Please do me a favor. Say hello, say goodbye, say something if you're on with me tonight. This is LOVEWORKS. My name is Ricardo Arce, and we're talking about things, excuse me, things to consider before getting married. Things to consider before you get married, So I stress to you that respect is a major, major thing in every relationship. Don't lose it for one another. Don't, because it's very hard to get it back. Don't go below the belt, ladies. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't do it. You know his buttons. You push his buttons, it's gonna be over with. Do not push his buttons. Man of God, do not push her buttons. Don't do it. Don't do it. Right. I've seen that so many times. I've seen that so many times when people literally start literally calling each other different names and beads and so forth. You don't want to begin that, even with your girlfriend, because that can taper over. You don't want to do that. So that's just one of the biggest advice I can give you when it comes down to respect. Come on, we got to move. I hope you're being blessed tonight. Learn life skills. This is it, man. Learning life skills is important. Let me make it very clear what we're talking about. Okay. Generation X, and I'll say this, and I'm not knocking generation any other generation, but this is real talk. We learn how to cook. We learn how to clean. We learn pretty much how to take care of ourselves, pay a bill, not a cell phone bill. No. We pay bills before we left the house, meaning before we left our parents' house. These are certain life skills that you have to learn. Woman, please hear me, and ladies who are mature, back me up here. A lot of men do not like a woman that doesn't know how to cook. You can order Uber Eats, whatever. Learn to cook. Because when you can't afford Uber Eats, talk to me. Yeah. If he's out doing all what he needs to do to bring home whatever he needs to bring home to you, and you're not cooking or cleaning, that's a marriage that's not going to last. You want to make sure you learn some life skills. How to literally cook, how to pay some bills, how to do all the things, basic stuff in life. Cleaning up your room. What? Yeah. But you want to be married. What? Making sure you're taking care of certain business that you pretty much need to take care of. Life skills. Just basic life skills. Nothing major. Because if you don't know these things, I promise you, it's not going to last very long. It's not. And I see this constantly right now, where they don't have any life skills. They don't know how to. Yeah, I'll put this on blast. There have been a number of people that stayed with us over the years since we've taken in people, and particularly certain generations that we will take in, they have no life skills. Don't know how to wash dishes. Don't know how to wash their clothes. Didn't know how to clean up their room. Now, if you don't know how to clean up your room, young lady, that lets me know something about your hygiene, which is a whole nother topic. Yeah. Life skills. Didn't know to cook. Nothing. We had to show them. This is how you do it. Well, I don't. You buy your groceries. You pay that bill. Yeah, that you did. You pay that bill. Yeah. Go open up a bank account. I'm not joking. This is what we had to do. And slowly but surely they started catching on. And so, okay, and this is why we had to tell them this. You're not staying here forever. You're not my child. And I don't love you that much. I don't even like you that much. So you're leaving soon. So you got to learn this now so you can get out there and make sure you be pretty much a force to reckon with out there, not here. You're not going to be clothed. You're not going to be taken care of here. life skills. This is important before you marry him or her, sir. Don't play yourself. Don't do it. Don't do it. We said, yes, we did. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm going to leave you with this last one right here. Financial decisions are a must. The discussion must be a must. Sorry, I must. Got to. You need to know what type of debt you're taking on. Grad school debt, college debt, whatever, both. Yeah, you don't know. You don't know. You want to make taking on all the debt. You need to figure that out. How much debt is coming in? How much we have to pay off? How's your credit, Father? Yeah. How's your credit? I first came in, my credit was jacked. You know why? Because I let everybody else use it. Everybody else used my credit except me. Yeah. Everybody was using my credit, just running up, no problem, destroying it. I'm like, it was no big deal. Then when I went to get an apartment, I look at your credit. Oh man, you got to put a bigger deposit now, or you can't move in here. So I had to get a studio apartment when I did to build up my credit. I started saying no. So before I got married, I had to get my credit in order. I had to get certain things in order. And this is important to understand because you're taking on somebody else's debt, somebody's issues, somebody's problems, somebody's whatever. And you want to make sure you do all that you can to take on as little debt that you possibly can. If you can pay off stuff before you get married, or you guys work it out before you get married, wonderful. But you want to go into it hopefully with a clean slate, because hopefully you want to buy some property. Hopefully you want to pretty much invest in whatever you can to have some money later on. But you must have this discussion. This is a very important one that people don't like to have. They don't like being real with themselves. Young man, you need to know what kind of debt you're bringing into the relationship. What are you carrying on? Young lady, what are you carrying on? Does he have kids that he has to pay child support on? I've seen that. Well, 2 years in a marriage, boom, you find out, hey, he has a 5-year-old kid somewhere and she's coming for him. Yes, sir. And all of a sudden now pretty much, I have to work an extra job. Yeah, you do. Because you have to pay off that debt. That child support, listen, it's for a long time, sir, that you have to pay that child support. So you don't know what, the person's bringing in, because if you don't have this discussion, you're going to bring in all this foolishness into that marriage. And you're going to have a very stressful time. The most stressful year in any marriage in recorded history that I know of is the first year, because you're getting all of the selfishness out. But that's why you live together. That's the most dumbest crap you can do. For those of you, and I'm speaking to Christians, I'm gonna get on my soapbox. Don't live with him. If you're living with him now, listen, let me help you. I hope you pretty much plan to get married. I pray that you plan to get married. But understand, as you move forward, if he's not asking you to get married because he's comfortable, do not move in with the person. It's a whole spiritual content behind that, but just on logic, don't move in with the person. Don't sign the lease, because if you guys break up, you stuck with that lease. You got to pay out that lease, ma'am. Young lady, sir, you got to pay out that lease. Yeah, you do. That's the agreement. Don't move in. Don't do it. Stay in your own apartment, whatever. If you want God to bless it, I'm helping you here. You want to make sure you're doing all that you can to have your own until you get married. Please do that. Please don't sit there and settle. I'm just going to move in. No, you already know what's going to happen. We're not going to do nothing. Yes, he is. He's going to hit it, and you're going to let him hit it. Yeah. I don't care if we got 2 bedrooms. Cool. You're going to be in that 1 bedroom all night, every night. Yeah. Stop playing with yourself. Don't do that. Don't move in with one another. Seriously. It's financially stupid. Yeah. You need to really understand what you're getting into when it comes down financially. And I mean that sincerely. I don't care how much you love them. Don't care. Love would listen. It's a lie that people believe that love will conquer all. Love will not conquer all. Yeah, it's not going to conquer those bills. No, no, no. They don't conquer bills. I've tried it. I don't care how much you love the bills. Not going to do it. Listen, the bank gonna sit there and like, um, hey, Mister, I said you need. We need that mortgage money. I got love for you. Okay, Mister. Okay, okay. You and love gonna get kicked out this house. You hear me? The properties that you own, you gonna get kicked out of them. So take care of the financial discussion you have to take care of. And I'm being so real with you because I don't want you to go into pretty much into something that could have been avoided because you did not ask, you did not pry. You need to understand what you're getting into. This is important as a woman of God, as if you move forward in marriage or whatever you want to do, as far as engagement or whatever that looks like. You want to discuss this. Financial discussions must be had. This is Love Works. My name is Ricardo Arce. I thank you for joining me tonight. These are the 10 things you must consider before getting married. I'm going to have some other ones on next week. We're going to get together on next Tuesday at 7. I'm going to say 7 o'clock because that's what looks like the time I've been coming on. 7 o'clock, not 6:45, 7 o'clock. So if you join me on next week, I would love to see you. On this Sunday, join me at 10:30 Pacific time in the morning for Destin LA. I believe that God is going to have a word for you to help you to fight through these situations that you're in right now because the enemy is ramping up. He's doing some crazy stuff. Yes, the war is happening. Yes, we have gas prices. Yes, the pretty much the voting is coming down to a pipe where we have to pretty much put certain people in and hopefully get some other people out. But we're gonna have pretty much have a word on Sunday. I pray that you join me at 10:30 Pacific time. My name is Ricardo. I say this is Love Works. I'm going to take some questions just for a second. If you have any questions or any statements, please share them with me. I'm just taking questions right now on anything you have to discuss right now when it comes down to relationship. Please, I would love to hear from you. Please, if you don't mind, send me some questions, or if you have any statements or whatever, I'll put them on the screen. Or if you want to email them to me, which I'll say that now, email me destinla@gmail.com. Actually, don't do that. Don't send it there. Send it to LoveWorks. I'm gonna send you to my email at LoveWorks. How about that? Go to loveworks.la@gmail.com, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions when it comes down to love, relationships, whatever that looks like. I have one question on the screen. Let's see here. You mean you can't live together for? No, I know this is a major practice within our society that you should live together and so forth. Test the waters and test it out, see if the sex is good and all this other stuff. The fact of the matter is that when you do this, ladies, and listen real good, I'm gonna tell you a man's thinking. Why buy the cow if he gets the milk for free? And I know it's pretty much as an old saying, but that's the truth. If he's getting it for free, why does he need to buy you? Look, when it comes down to the intimacy part, sex, whenever you have physical relationship with somebody, what if you love them or not, you create a bond. All right. You heard me talk about the oxytocin that comes together. What happens is that creates the glue. So if you take two pieces of paper, glue them together, and you try to pull them apart as the glue dries, some of that remnant of that paper is going to be on the other paper. It tears. And that's what happens to your soul. You're tearing it. Yeah. A piece of your soul goes with that person. That's why, listen, when you're living with someone, there's no commitment there because it's not honoring God. I'm gonna help you. It's just as a spiritual thing as it is physical and financial. The spiritual aspect of it is that when you come together with the person, if he or she decides to leave because you guys, whatever, on a financial part, let's say you have a lease together. Well, let's say you have an apartment together. You're renting. One of you got to go. So Now it's a major responsibility to move on financially. Emotionally, you have to move on. Um, and that pretty much not just physically, but on the level of where you've given him or her to yourself, and particularly women, by default, you are receivers. Listen, you receive. Men pretty much are transmitters. You're receivers. So whenever you lay up with a man, you take on everything, listen, everything that he has brought in to his body. I'm gonna help you. So all the women he slept with, you have now contracted into your spirit. And you wonder why you crazy. Bingo. I've seen many people act nuts after they have had sex. Talk to me. Okay, for those of you with teenage daughters, as soon you know exactly what had happened too. You know when she started having sex, she started acting funny. Yeah, that's a whole nother topic, but I cannot stress to you how important it is not to live with one another. You're going to cancel out some blessings in you and that relationship. And pass this on, please, to whoever you know is living together, pass this on. I'll be more than happy to talk to them. Be more than happy to talk to them. It is not going to be beneficial to you. You're going to lose out. You're not going to win. My word to you is don't do it. I've seen it over and over again where it pretty much it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. If you listen, I'm speaking specifically to Christians. I'm not speaking to any other person, any other types of people. If you are a Christian, you understand what I'm talking about. Yeah. So yes, sir. That's one of the reasons why you do not live together. That's just one. I can give out others, but it is important that you understand. Don't do it. Do not live with one another. It's a birth. You don't need to live with one another. If you're trusting God, you don't need to live with one another. Trust me when I say it. It's not the best solution. Any other questions that you may have or any statements, please throw them up. I'd love to talk to you. I would love to hear from you. If you're on, hey, let me know if you're on. I saw you, Miss Sheila. God bless you. Hey, Carla. That's my old school friend. She was like, we go back to like fifth grade. Fifth grade. Hi, Carla. Good to see you. Miss Sharice, hello. God bless you. Reginald, let me say this real quick. I got somebody moderating for me tonight who is Jupiter. His name is Reggie. What is it? Denzel. That's his middle name. You know I forgot. Reggie Denzel is with me tonight. He's pretty much taking care of the moderating and the behind the scenes, and I appreciate you. Thank you, son. I appreciate you doing. You don't get paid for this. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Whatever. I'm done. That's it. Nobody else any other questions or any statements. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate you. I hope you're being blessed by this. On definitely on Sunday morning, 10:30, I'll be on. What I'm going to start doing is start recording these a little bit more condensed. It's not going to be an hour long or anything like that, but more condensed versions of this. And I'm going to start putting recordings out so that not only you're blessed, but you can have some Q&A offline with me. All right. Thank you. Have a wonderful night. I appreciate you guys. If you feel led, only if you feel led, do me a favor, be a blessing. Go to Cash App, @ I am Ricardo Arce. You can go there, or Venmo. I am Ricardo Arce. So do me a favor, be a blessing. Doesn't care. I don't care how small or how big. It doesn't matter. Do me that favor. Be a blessing. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you on Sunday, and have a wonderful, wonderful night. Stay out the heat because it's hot. Have a good night, everybody.